This story is for those who aren't satisfied with their lives and believe that others are happier than them. To understand the story, watch it until the end. Once upon a time, there was a crow who was extremely unhappy with its life. One day, while sitting on a tree branch, the crow started crying. At that moment, a monk was sitting beneath the tree, and a tear from the crow fell onto the monk's face. The monk looked up, saw the crying crow, and asked, "What's the matter, my friend? Why are you crying?" The crow replied, "Oh, wise one, I'm very discontent with my life. Nobody loves me, people throw things at me and despise me. Nobody feeds me and everyone hates me. Death would be better than a life like this." Hearing the crow's words, the monk's heart filled with compassion. He said, "Learn to find happiness in any condition you find yourself in." However, the crow didn't grasp the monk's wisdom and continued crying. The monk continued, "Don't be saddened. Tell me what you wish to be, and I can make it happen through my mantra." The crow brightened up and said, "Oh, blessed one, if you'd do me a favor, transform me into a swan." The monk replied, "Very well, I will make you a swan. But first, go to a swan and ask if it's happy with its life. That way you'll discover the answer. Meanwhile, I'll wait here for you." The crow joyfully flew off in search of a swan. It spotted a swan swimming in a lake and approached it. The crow exclaimed, "You're so beautiful, white as milk. Everyone loves you. You must be the happiest bird in the world." The swan replied with sadness, "No, my friend, I'm not happy. Although there are many beautiful colors in the world, I possess none. White is an empty color. I believe the parrot must be the happiest bird since it's so colorful." Upon hearing this, the crow went off in search of a parrot. After a long search, it finally found a parrot, which was confined to a cage in a zoo. Hundreds of people gathered to admire its colors. After the people left, the crow approached the parrot and said, "You're so colorful and beautiful. You must be the happiest bird in the world." The parrot replied with sadness, "No, my friend, I'm not happy. You see, people keep parrots in cages. I'm always held captive and imprisoned in a cage. I believe the peacock must be the happiest bird because it's even more colorful than I am." The crow set off in search of a peacock and finally found one in a cage at the zoo. After people had admired its beauty and left, the crow approached the peacock and said, "Dear peacock, you're so magnificent. Thousands of people come to see you every day. You must be the happiest bird in the world." The peacock replied with sadness, "I used to think I was the most beautiful and happiest bird. But because of my beauty, I'm trapped in this zoo. People pluck my colorful feathers for decorative purposes, and it's painful." The peacock looked deeply at the crow and said, "No, my friend, I'm not happy. I've reflected upon it, and I've realized that you, the crow, are the only bird not kept in a cage. People don't try to capture and imprison you. In the last few days, I've come to understand that if I were like you, I could fly freely everywhere and truly be free." Upon hearing this, the crow flew away. For the first time, it felt happy to be a crow. It returned to the monk and said, "Wise one, I no longer wish to be anything other than myself. I'm content as I am." After reflecting on our lives, we realize that our problem is unnecessary comparisons with others. This leads to sadness and self-deprecation. We fail to appreciate what we have, creating a vicious cycle of unhappiness. We must learn to be happy with what we have instead of focusing on what we lack. There will always be someone with more or less than us. If we keep comparing ourselves, we'll never find happiness. The happiest person in the world is the one who's content with what they have.